what's involved with being a foster parent. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Local Edition. With me this hour is Leo McLaughlin with Families United. Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Now, Families United Network is a nonprofit organization, but you work to ensure that kids in the foster care system have appropriate homes, loving homes, and that these foster parents are qualified people to really help kids in a situation that oftentimes is difficult.
Absolutely. Yeah, you look at the kinds of situations that we're dealing with and the children that come to us, they're coming to us because for many reasons their family can't currently accommodate them or can't make it work. So we've got to, we're on the receiving end of children who've been taken away from parents, who need a caring and loving environment and a safe environment to be in for at least a brief period of time.
For people watching right now that may be thinking about becoming a foster parent or becoming a foster family, talk to us a little bit about what the process actually involves. How do you start that? How do you know that this is the right fit?
Well, we have a fairly extensive process after someone comes to us with interest, and that involves visiting their home several times initially, kind of an orientation session to let them know what they're getting into, because a lot of folks may not understand what happens with a foster child and with foster placement. So we do that, and we begin a process of checking references, checking background, making sure that there's financial stability in the home, that we're not in some way helping to fund a problem, a financial situation for a home, making sure that there's an understanding of child needs and child development. And then we also do about 24 hours of training with each family before we do a final approval for them.
Now, you mentioned finances. Children come with expenses. They come with medical needs, food needs. Are any provisions made in order to financially compensate a foster family?
Sure. We're, as a private organization, we operate as an extension of most county children and youth agencies. So they will come to us, the county will come to us with a child that needs placement. And if we're selected for that child, or if one of our families is selected, along with that comes a subsidy for the family. So a child is not in, there's not a concern about the child's needs, and even some exceptional expenses like camps and dance classes and sporting teams or sporting clubs. We help subsidize as well.
Is it important to have foster families throughout the region so kids can be close to some of the connections they may already have in their lives?
It really is, and that's probably one of the greatest changes in our systems over the past few years. I think all of us in this work now understand and emphasize the need to keep a child as close to their home as possible, in the same school district, close to family. And in many instances, with a placement, we look for family members, what we call a kinship placement or a relative placement first.
Let's talk about some extraordinary circumstances. For example, if there's a sibling group that you really want to keep together, or you have an older child, a teenager, or a child with medical needs, is it more difficult to place groups of children, or these children maybe with some special concerns?
It can be. We actually seek out families who have interest in taking care of those kinds of situations and helping those kinds of kids. The sibling groups are always difficult because there may be a major age range that has to be contended with, and some families may already have their own children, so they can't take that larger group. But we do pretty well with that, actually, and then the medically needy children, what we call medically fragile children, we train our foster families that are interested in taking those kinds of kids extensively. And we have an informal partnership with Beata nurses for home health care to help us with those kinds of situations.
And Leo, we just have a short time left, but basically you're looking for loving, stable homes to really provide a nurturing environment for these kids. But I would think one of the hardest parts is saying goodbye, that family reunification that you're hoping for, but it's hard when your foster child does leave.
It is very difficult, and you sense that and you feel it with our families, but they're oriented and trained to do that. We work with them very carefully, and our case managers do that.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We've been talking with Leo McLaughlin with Families United Network. I'm Jill Horner for Comcast Local Edition.